Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a Sunday sermon. Each week, we try to bring you a message. We don't speak of any religion. We just simply try to speak of the reality of God. We try to speak of all religions and all faiths. So today, we're going to have a little bit of an unusual message. We're going to speak to Buddha. He will be speaking of, I'm sure, some of the universal messages that God had him back to deliver. So, without any further delay, let's speak to our morning guest, Buddha. Hello, everyone. Yes, what Barry says is true. There is only one God, and if you take time to analyze things, you'll find that there's simply only one simple message. You see, God asked me to return at a very troubled time. I didn't feel that I wanted to get involved with all of the ancient messages, with all the ancient happenings. I wanted to focus on telling people to get along, to live a good life. I wanted to tell people that even though it was a very difficult time, if they helped one another, it would be possible for them to succeed. It would be possible for them to love their families. It would be possible for them to exist in a much better fashion. Love, love is the basis of all religions. You have to show love to others. You see, that is where religions fall apart. Quite often, they feel that they're the only way to heaven, and that's not true. It does not even make sense that God would choose one religion and have them be the only pathway into heaven. The pathway to heaven is death. Now, I didn't fully understand that when I walked the earth. I didn't realize what was on the other side. I received psychic messages. I heard angels. They spoke to me. But I didn't have a really good understanding. There were ancient writings. I read some of those. But I did not feel that there was any one single path. I don't think you can consider Buddhism or the practices that people follow that I spoke when I walked the earth. I don't think you can consider that a true religion. I think if you considered Buddhism a supplement to perhaps a religion or an understanding of God, there are several pillars to my faith or to my understanding. All of them, all of them are wonderful teachings. I don't speak of a single God. There is only a single God, but it's not something that I focus on. I try to speak to you or to the people and tell them what they need to do to prosper, to show love, to lead their families down a path where their families will continue to show love to others as well. Evil is everywhere. You know that. You look around, you see it, you hear it on your social media, on your television, on your news channels. Evil has been around since the inception of man. That is a fact. Man comes to earth to learn lessons. If you follow the words that are written that I supposedly spoke, and many of them are quite accurate. If you follow those words, then you'll live a much better life. That's all that we would like for you to do. Follow God, live a much better life. Now, I've lived several lifetimes since that of Buddha, so I've seen humans change. I've tried I've tried to lead humans through other religions in those lives. I wasn't very successful. I feel sorry about that. I found that through the ages, the foundations of religions can actually be counterproductive to having a soul advance as they have been sent back to advance. You see, there's no single path to heaven. That's an absolute. Oh, there is a single path, it's death. But there is no single path to advancing in the realms of heaven. That is totally dependent upon how you act in your life. Now, there are many people that think that they can advance and have absolutely no belief in a single God. That's very possible, but it's very difficult. You see, there were things that I did not know when I walked the earth. There's many things you don't know when you walk the earth as well. But when you return home, you will become aware of everything. You'll know what you did right, you'll know what you did wrong. There are those of you out there that believe a hedonistic life is the best. Make the most of the time that you have on earth as a human. Forget about the existence of God. Forget about living a good life. Do what you need to do just to be as happy as possible. Make as much money as you can. Make more money than you can ever spend, or make more money than you or your family will ever need in the future. And don't use that money for doing good. God wants you to be happy, but he also wants you to help others. If you have great wealth and don't help others, then you're not doing what God wants. I wanted you to do, I wanted you to help others. That's what I spoke of when I walked the earth. Do good, help others. It's actually a concept very similar to the words that you hear your Lord speak every Wednesday when he comes through. He tells you to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's a common sense thing. Buddhism is unique. It is a reflection of the words that I spoke and of the life that I tried to live. It is a reflection of a way of advancing in heaven. You see, my basic teachings were the same as most other religions, even though I did not consider myself a religion. I consider myself maybe a faith. You have to have faith in God. Now, that's not something I really spoke of, but it's something I learned when I went back. It's something I learned in preparation for the lives that I lived since the time that I was Buddha. Meditation. Learn to know yourself. If you do not totally understand yourself, then it's very difficult to understand others. Once you know yourself, you can interact with others better. If you understand that you love yourself, love how you are living your life, love your faith, love what you're doing for others. If you love what yourself, then it's very easy to pass on that love. Maybe you're looking at difficulties that you're having with raising your children. Sometimes fathers abandon children and put a terrible load upon the mother. The mother can only do the best she can do. There are many, many opportunities where individuals can mentor others, especially children. If you know a mother that's struggling with her child, try to get involved with that child. Quite often, seniors are abandoned. Seniors have lived long lives and they've learned much. Many of them are actually very wise. Businesses no longer want them because of their age, but seniors can be great mentors for children. Seniors can often speak to a child in ways that a parent cannot. Seniors have great knowledge. That knowledge can be passed on to children. Schools could take great advantage of seniors. There are many retired businessmen, retired ministers. Those people could speak with classes. They could pass on some of that knowledge that they have. There are many, many ways that individuals can help others. Phones. Use your phones to help others. Many seniors of advanced age are incredibly lonely. They've lost their mobility. They think that they are useless. Show them that there are still people that are interested in them. Go strike up conversations. Even though they're very aged, maybe they have some dementia, maybe they have all kinds of problems, but they are still humans and they still have quality things to talk to them about. Growing old is not easy. You can ask many people and they'll tell you that. It's not supposed to be easy. Knowing yourself as you grow old is very difficult. How do you conceive of death? Do you fear it? If you fear death, then you don't have a good control of your understandings of God and heaven. Death is not something to be feared. Your soul is everlasting. You may try to prolong it. You may do many things. You may think that your body is the greatest thing that ever lived. Some people, as we watch, even freeze their bodies thinking that future technologies are going to allow them to return. That it's not going to happen like that. There's one single process that all souls go through. The soul will die. The soul will enter heaven. The guides will explain what happened in that life to that soul. There'll be a time that the soul will decide to return. They will lay a life plan out for that soul that explains exactly what that soul needs to learn. You need to learn lessons to advance in heaven, and you need to learn heavens to advance in life. Lessons and learning are the key to everything. You can learn to follow evil, or you can learn to follow the simple teachings of the one God. You can rely on the angels and guides for advice. You can pray to them and ask for that advice. Or you can think that you are the one person that can make decisions for yourself and follow those decisions without the advice of your guides. Generally, individuals that choose that path are not happy because it has no understanding of God. Without God, there's no true happiness. You hear that almost every week here as well. God is what brings you true happiness. Those are not words that I spoke when I walked the earth, but they are words that I now understand. When you're over here, you understand things that you are totally incapable of understanding as a human. I want you to understand the universal message of love today. Love is the basis of everything. If you do not have love in your heart, if you do not love yourself, you do not love others, and you do not love God, happiness is something you will not obtain. The act of helping others is the greatest thing that a human life can ever do. Now, I know I sounded a lot like the other saints that come through for you this morning. I guess you were expecting something far different. When I walked the earth as Buddha, I played a role that God sent me back to play. I tried to make life better for people in very different circumstances. They were in very difficult circumstances. There was great poverty, and there was little they could do. I tried to help. I still try to help. That's why I'm here this morning. So go out, help others, help yourself, because helping others helps yourself. It all ties together. And when that day comes that you return, your soul will smile and you will be very happy. So thank you for listening to me on this morning. Thank you for allowing me to come through. Thank you. And thank you, I hope, for telling others about our conversation. So goodbye. Have a great day and help others. Thank you, Buddha. I really appreciate you coming through. Very good message. Universal message. Next week, we'll have St. James, the disciple. He will speak to you, and you'll probably hear some of the same words. Tell your friends. Listen to us every week. Can't do any harm. So goodbye. I know God is blessing all of you.